What is up, everybody? We have a solo show today where we're going to be talking about Maxi. We've got 5 new tokens launching.
Team, Duo, Maxi, whatever the other ones are called, Trio, Lucky, and Desi. We're going to be getting into some of those, as well as I want to touch on Hedron again. I know we've been touching on this on a regular basis, but when you put yourself out there 2 months from now, there's going to be a boatload of hacks that is coming on the market in the form of HSIs. And I think we should talk about that as well. How successful is the launch of Team? Is Team more successful than Desi? Is it more successful than Lucky? Or is it more successful than Trio or Base? We're going to get into that in this just by looking at Etherscan. We should be able to pull up all this information on Etherscan. So we're going to try to do that live to keep you guys updated of what's actually taking place. We have Bullish out today and we have GRC out today. So you get the best person for the show today. Now, take a second before we get into the Bullishes here, actually. What's up, Hex? Hex Hog, how you doing, bro? How is everybody doing this morning? And Suitable, good morning. Bit Finesse, how are you guys doing? Make sure you guys share this out. My internet provider is also down, so this is streaming off of my phone currently on the computer. I've already reported it. It is down. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure you take a second. There's a little share button with an arrow. Press that. Share it on Twitter. Tag me, Stolt or Sam_A_Stolt on Twitter. Let's get this going. Let's show Bullish and GRC that we don't need them here to have an amazing show. Peso, dude, what's good? We're gonna be talking some Maxi shit. Like, what's going on, right? They're launching Maxi. Is anybody actually interested in minting Team token? I have Maxi. Am I gonna mint any Team token? Probably not. But maybe after I go through this show and actually talk about this, I will sell it to myself through the show from your feedback. How are you? Good morning. Not going to Vegas, Sam. Not this year. Possibly next year. Self-sufficient human. I love the name. Good morning. I'm very new to all this, but obsessed. Hell yeah. Hey, you came to the right place. We have lots of stuff to cover today. The Pulse Tube. Also, if I have time to get into this, so we've got some Hedron stuff to cover. Maxi, Desi, Lucky, Trio, and Base, right? The 5 new tokens that Maximus Team is launching, all coming out today. It's happening live. Good morning. People are still streaming in. Good morning. Don't forget to share this out to everybody. How rude of me. Good morning. Good morning. Morning to everybody here. We also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we launched on time today. We are live right now instead of 10 minutes after. So let's make sure that we can show GRC and Bullish, that we can do a good show. Take a second, press the share button. We're going to get started with some DeFi proof. I just had to figure out where that song is because we're solo today. I'll see you guys in a minute.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stay. Got me some heads on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some Maxi and that's just in case. Jim ready sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Yo, so what is good, guys? Who is excited? It's Monday. I think today is a holiday that people call Labor Day. I am laboring today. You're not going to Vegas? Not this year. I'm going to be going to the gym is where I'm going to be going as soon as the show is done with it. Hello, everybody. Well done, Sam. Thank you. Battery 79. We're here to take notes. Oh, sweet. Let's get into it. I didn't take the screenshot, but Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. EST on my channel, I'm going to be going live with my buddy Russ. He is down under, right? So in Australia, we're going to be talking on Wednesday evening some things related to Hedron because he has a lot of questions. So I think that would be a really good video if you're new to the ICOSA Hedron, right? That information is still proliferating out through the community of like what's actually taking place, right? What's up with ICOSA? Is the price going to hold? How is it all working out? All the details. And how does that work with Hex? How does that work with Hedron? He also has LP questions. So if you're not familiar with LP, tune in on Wednesday, 6 p.m. EST, or catch it in the replay afterwards because we're going to be covering that. Now, before we get into the Maxi thing, something that I tested this week, if you guys don't care for, say, Coinbase or some of the other platforms that have you KYC, but then also charge you fees to get in, right? So I've transferred in money from my account to Coinbase and I purchased Ethereum and they charged me, I think it was 10 grand and they charged me about $150, right? And you're like, well, that's not much on $150,000, but I don't want to pay $150, period, right? Well, there is a cheaper way to do that. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Before we get into the Maxis thing, we have a video to play just to give us a kind of a recap of what Base, Trio, Lucky, and Desi, along with Team R, the perpetuals is what they're being called, or whatever. But let me show you this. This is something called Trust Token. So you do have to KYC with this. However, let me see if I can pull this up in the background while I'm doing this and trying to talk at the same time. Or I'll just pull it up and then you guys can play around with it post on your own time. It's trusttoken.com, and it is actually a trust. Now, how this works is you have to set up an account similar to Coinbase. However, it is substantially cheaper. And on top of me, good morning, everybody. On top of me not only getting charged $150 to transfer in 10 grand through Coinbase, right? I went from my bank account to Coinbase and I got Ethereum. And then when I did that, they charged me $150. I think it was a little bit over $150. Now, once I did that, they also held my money for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So I couldn't do anything, right? How do they get to take your money and hold it hostage? I don't know. I don't know why this is the case, right? We have crypto today. Why is somebody else holding your money for 2 weeks? I don't get it. You guys let me know down below. But this solves that. Not only is it cheaper, but it is substantially faster, way faster. Some things with this though, it's you can't necessarily use this on the weekend because of you have to wire money in. So let's see here. I forget which one it was. You have to click into, it's the stable coins maybe. Oh yeah, go to app. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the app here just so I can show you before we get into the Hedron and the other stuff. So this is what it looks like. And well, this is their TrueFi. So this is what we're actually looking for is their stable coin. They're a stable coin provider. TUSD, I believe it is. TUSD. It's on Uniswap and it's on Binance as well. And every single TUSD is backed up by dollars. They're all auditable. You can see this. I think there's around 1 billion of these things so far, or it might be USDT is these other ones over here, but theirs is the TUSD, and every dollar is backed up, so you don't have to worry about it losing peg or anything like that. After you set up your account, you wire transfer money in. If you've never, you guys say hi to my girlfriend here. If you've never wired money, a lot of banks will allow you to do, well, some banks will allow you to do a wire transfer from your account sitting in front of your desk here. So what I was actually able to do is set up this account. When you set up the account, you also give an Ethereum address. So I put in my Ethereum address, right? Now, a wire transfer from my bank they give you the wire instructions. If you're not familiar with how to do a wire, it's really, really simple. Watch a couple of YouTube videos on it. Ask, somebody who has done it, and you wire transfer, and that's about $25, right? So I said $150 to do $10,000 versus $25 to do $10,000, right? So you have a 6x decrease in your cost. And the really awesome thing about Trust Token is that instead of them holding my money for 2 weeks where I can't actually touch my money, I got my money right away. So clearly this doesn't work on the weekends because Legacy doesn't work on the weekends, meaning you're not able to do a wire transfer on Saturday or Sunday. I believe they're only in the United States too, so you can't do this outside of there. Peso, wires are the bomb. ACH sucks. I've had wires clear in 15 minutes. Okay, yes, exactly. So what happens after you send the wire? So I go into my bank account, right? I put in all the information, double check all the information to make sure it's correct, and I wire that money to the Trust Token. What do they do? Well, they have my information, so they have to follow the KYC rules. Then, once they receive the wire, could be as short as 15 minutes. Sometimes a couple hours, but it could be very, very short. Sometimes it's by the end of the day. If it's domestic, it's almost always within less than 24 hours. So they get your money within just a couple hours most of the time. They get your money. And then what do? After they receive your $10,000, your $200, doesn't matter what it is. They take that and they mint you TUSD. So you get minted a stable coin that you created by your dollars. So you save time, right? They're not holding your money for 2 weeks. Immediately, as soon as they get the wire, they mint you TUSD. That is freaking awesome. So a lot cheaper and a lot faster. If you guys are trying to figure out other ways to get money into crypto, check it out. You can also, if you want to take money out, they still have to follow the Bank Secrecy Act, which is like part of regulations that financial institutions and Legacy have to follow. But if you want to take money out of the system, out of the crypto system for whatever reason to live on for some reason, what you're able to do is take your TUSD, send it to the Ethereum address for Trust Token. Once they get that, then they will wire that back to your account, right? So this is a awesome way. I'm glad I set up an account. I just wanted to share that with you guys quickly before we get into understanding. Video quality is terrible today, mate. Hey, Prime, I appreciate that. The internet is down. I've already reported it to the ISP, so I appreciate anybody who is staying with us. The internet is crappy because I am tethering this to my phone. I don't have any internet at my house at the moment. And so I had to tether this to my phone. So appreciate this. If anybody is here and dealing with this poor video quality, thank you. Hopefully my internet comes back on before the show gets over and I can switch over to that, but it's not there yet. Thanks, Em. I'm having options to wrap. Yes, awesome. For smaller transactions, Newton maybe Canada only can be used for a transfer, plus transaction fees are covered up to a certain amount. Also, this is something that we have never covered on the show before, but if anybody is watching here, it's called Local Cryptos. And I will show you this, and then we'll dive into some of the other stuff. Local crypto. So say somebody wanted to take money out of the system, right? So say somebody has made a lot of money in crypto and they'd like to take some of that money out and go buy a car or do something else with that, right? Pay for their house, go on vacation, right? Paint their toenails, whatever their thing is. Well, there is... Morning, Chris. How you doing, bro? There is something called What's up, RH Max? How you doing, bro? This I'm going to show you. This is called localcryptos.com, and this is not meeting somebody in person. This you could meet somebody in person, but this one is not. So what you can do is if you have your crypto and you would like to receive PayPal, wire transfer, cash, bank transfer, cash deposit, Western Union, Zelle, Venmo, Cash App, all of those are on here. What you can do is you come over here where you say, like, I'm going to sell. So you're going to sell. You can select which one you want to sell, right? Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. Then you're in the US, and say we wanted to do a bank transfer. We want somebody to Zelle us the money, right? We're going to send them. We see this person right here, Anders, blah, blah, blah. It has had 2,500 trades. So this is not going to be like, this is kind of like outside of the system, so to speak. It's not going to be tracked in any way, shape, or form, right? But there's also no the quality, right? All you can judge this by is the people here, right? There's 25. This guy's done 2,500 trades. If somebody's done 2,500 trades without being reported to this platform, then it gives you a better idea of like the quality of the person who's doing this, right? So this is another way to take money out of the system, which is something new to me. I don't know if anybody has ever used that before. AJ, what's good, bro? Hexagrapher, I completely spelled. Let me see what he was saying here. All right, what were we saying? Gonna keep acquiring more Watsa NFTs to give away in coming weeks. No strings attached. Where are you acquiring those from? OpenSea? I actually did not mint any of those. So Sam mustache looking tidy. Thank you, sir. Okay, let's get into Maxi, right? People are actively minting team, base, trio, lucky. So first of all, let's understand what those things are, right? Because that is the Maximus team that is launching those. And we want to get an understanding of what they are before we dive into any of the details. So we pulled up a video here by Golkey, who gets into the details of what this is. Hopefully my internet connection is not completely horrid and we can actually get into this video. So let's pull this up.
33%.
You guys hear this okay?
Performing really well on the free market.
Let me make
and on
this
the
a
back
little louder.
end, Maxi has been earning 32.5% APY.
He's going to be getting into. Here we go.
New opportunities for Hex.
Do you guys hear this okay?
We are introducing 4 new stake pools called the Perpetuals, and you'll find out why. Base is a 1-year stake. Trio is a 3-year stake. Lucky is a 7-year, and Desi is a 10-year. These pools will start just like Maxi with the mint phase. All the Hex will be staked and begin earning yield. But what makes these new and innovative is that we are introducing auto compounding yield. So when those stakes end, you have 3 options. You can either redeem all or a portion of your Hex principal plus earn interest. You can leave your Hex in the pool and be auto restaked into the next term, or you can mint more pool tokens into that pool at the new mint rate, which is equal to the current redemption value of that pool token. You can think of these pools as a flexible staking ladder. A staking ladder is a strategy many already use. So you can redeem trustless Hex yield periodically or simply sell your tokens at any time. And again, bigger bonuses, gas fee savings, and instant liquidity. To support the growth of the perpetuals, we're also introducing Maximus Team. You can mint and stake Team to earn rewards from the success of Maximus stake pools, offering passive income. The token supply is deflationary, uncapped potential for future earnings, and again, community owned. During the mint period, you can mint 1 team per 1 maxi pledged to the contract. After the mint period ends, no more team will ever be minted and the supply only goes down 20%.
So that is interesting. The comment actually was from me. GRC is out today, but he is in Vegas. And when I comment from the back end, it actually goes to both channels, my channel and his channel. I saw some people saying hi. I will let him know when I talk to him later. So I don't know if there's any benefit. If you look at ICOSA, the yield on day 1 was like 5 or 6x what it was versus day 2. So if you want additional yield before other people get in, then yeah. I'm not sure what the length. I haven't been following the team launch with this project very closely, so I don't know how long the launch period is. I think it's around a 1 week or so. We're going to pull up Etherscan in a second and take a look at how are they actually doing. So, Liam, I minted all of the Maximus DAO new coins. Yes, you did it all by yourself. That is fucking awesome.
Of the maxi used to mint team is burned, increasing maxi's redemption value.
So the 1-for-1, right? So you could take your maxi. I have some maxi. I don't know if I'll be doing this. Maybe I will mint some later today. But it says you can mint the team token. Every one team token is maxi. After the mint period ends, no more team will ever be minted, and the supply only goes down. It also mentions 20% of the maxi used to mint team is burned, increasing maxi redemption value. 369 rebate. 30% of the maxi used to mint is redistributed back to team stakers. Okay, so this is where I think somebody had just asked about this, hexographer, grapher, yes, where you just asked about this. I bet the yield is higher in day one than it is in day two, and 30% of maxi is actually going to be going back in here in years 3, 6, and 9. Now, question that I would have around this is, do you just have to be holding, or do you have to be staking? You stake this? If somebody has been following this closer than I have, let me know in the comments. Do you have to stake? Do you have to be staked for the next 3 years in order to get back a portion of the supply of maxi, right? That would be interesting. I don't know if that's the case. Let's take a look in the last one here. It says mystery box, 50% of maxi used. Okay, so I think that's how they're paying themselves.
30% of the maxi used to mint team is distributed back to team stakers in years 3, 6, and 9 for the maxi 3, 6, 9 rebate, and 50% of the maxi used to mint, and a copy of all the team is sent to the mystery box. Now, if you're wondering what the mystery box is, it is just that, a mystery, and there should be no expectations. Team staking.
That's how they're paying themselves, right? Which is perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with that. Sam is on his channel for any questions, guys. Yes, please. Also, Wednesday, 6 p.m. EST, we're going to be going live. Wednesday, 6 p.m. EST, we're going to be talking stuff. I believe there is a 369 penalty to end stake early. Yes, I believe the stakes are only 1 year long. But how do you get that rebate? Do you just have to have it and be staked in year 3? Because a lot of people are going to forget about that. Unless there's like, if you just hold it, if you just have the team token in 3 years, do you get the 30% of the maxi back? I don't know. Chris, do you know what that is? Or Crypto Dave? I don't think you have to stake team. I think it's optional. I think you're definitely right about that, but there's a benefit to staking it. But did you mean that you don't have to stake team token to get the rebate? What is the rebate? The rebate is 30% of all the Maximus tokens that are submitted 1-for-1 for team. I'd like to know what that is. Turns out local cryptos fees are Maker 0.25 and 0.75 plus for the spread. Okay, thank you for that. So that is what we were covering earlier as well. I'm live on both channels right now. GRC and Bullish is out, so make sure you guys press that thumbs up button. Let's get more views in and more engagement, more comments than there is on the regular show today. All right, let's get back into this thing.
So stake team for an entire 1 year stake period to earn rewards for that period. If you unstake early, there is a 3.69% penalty on your team.
That's what Chris was just saying.
And you do not earn rewards for that period. When a stake period ends, all whitelisted tokens in the team treasury are claimable by team stakers. Team rewards. So the perpetuals share half of the hex earned from the bigger pays better bonus and all of the hedron from those stakes.
So that's kind of interesting, right? We have hedron to still talk about, but all of these pools, which I have the Etherscan up in the background, have I think all of them have multiple millions. Yeah, all of them have multiple millions already minted for them. That means they've taken Hex and they've minted, Desi Lucky, et cetera, as well as for the Maxian team. Now, all of that, all of the hedron on those is going to this. This would be the reason to stake, right? Because currently you would be getting something that is undervalued. Let's talk about that for just a second before we pull up the rest of this video. If you take a look at T-shares, and if you believe that T-shares are a valuable thing that people are going to want to demand, are going to want to purchase in the future, then hedron would be undervalued, assuming that there's any need, any desire for people to liquidate positions, right? Because what is hedron good for? Let me know in the comments. What is hedron good for? Hedron allows you to have flexibility with the hex stake, right? Go.hex.com doesn't allow you to do that. So this adds flexibility and optionality to a hedron. Hedron adds this to the hex stake because you can liquidate through an NFT, right? You can convert your HSI to an NFT, sell it on like hexmarketplace.com or OpenSea, right? You can also go through and sell it to the ICOSA contract, or you can go through and you could advance hedron on your hex stake. And it almost doesn't even make sense to do a short-term stake anymore. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Like, does it make sense to stake hex for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Like, seriously, I want to understand what you guys are thinking. Does it make any sense to stake hex for a short period of time? And the reason I say that is because if I'm not seeing any reason to stake it for short term, if you have an HSI, if you have the capacity to liquidate the position at any point, why would you stake it for 1 year? Why not stake it for the maximum amount, get the biggest benefit from that, right? Lock in the T-share rate, right? Lock in the rate of what you earn on that. And then in 1 year, right, put that in a separate wallet, put that aside, put it into your safe so you don't touch it, in a separate one that you don't use. And then in a year, set your reminder and fucking look at that shit and sell it, right? Because then you have a year earning at the highest interest rate, not the lower interest rate. Let's see what Chris said. My shortest stake is 2 years. My first stake was 3 years. Does it make any sense though now, now that we have, because paper hands, well, then don't use, right? Bane, name, you shouldn't use hedron if you have paper hands, right? Because that's what hedron's for, liquidation. So if you don't want to be tempted, if you know about these things and you don't have the fucking mental fortitude to stick with what you said you're going to do, which, and I'm not judging you, right? A lot of people don't, then probably shouldn't use HSIs, but just make sure you keep your security really, really, really good on the wallet that if you do choose to use go.hex.com, because I just don't see any penalty, or I don't see any reason to stake short-term for hex. Unsuitable. Is there any penalty or something for hedron on stakes? I'm not sure what you mean. If you're staking in ICOSA, if you have hedron that is staked in ICOSA, and say it's 90 days or 270 or whatever the case is, and you unstake that, yes, you lose, I don't know exactly what it is, but you don't get any of the benefit. You don't get any of the interest, right? So currently I have hedron that is staked and it's earning me ICOSA every day. Now I lose all that ICOSA, and I believe there's a small penalty on the hedron bag to do so. I know hedron gives the ability to unstake, but is there something else to it? No. Unsuitable. No, there's not. So if you have an HSI, you can take your HSI and dispose of it in 3 ways. And this is the thing that I'm going to be talking more about on Wednesday. And that, like, if you guys have a good argument for this, please let me know, because I think this hedron the way that things have been going could make the utilization of ICOSA very, very low. Because if you think about how to dispose of an HSI, assuming for me, it doesn't make any sense to do a short-term stake, right? It would just make sense to do a long-term stake and then dispose of it through one of these three options. Convert the HSI to an NFT, right? So things with this, right? It's multiple steps, right? Because you got to convert it to an NFT. You got to put the NFT on OpenSea to do that. Then there has to be buyers for that. So there has to be demand over here. Now, the next thing is you could take your HSI to you click on say something. I think you still have to convert it to an NFT, and then you take it over and you put it with ICOSA. So you sell that to the ICOSA contract. That's going to yield you some amount of ICOSA. It depends on what the ICOSA is selling for, right? Because say the NFT, in order for the NFT to sell, you got to put it at a discount, right? So say if it's $1,000 hex stake, and you take that $1,000 hex stake and you list it on OpenSea as an NFT, maybe you have to list it for $800 in order for it to sell quickly, to get cash, because that's why people want to get rid of their HSIs. They want cash, right? For whatever reason, maybe the price has gone up substantially. 2, you sell it to ICOSA. ICOSA is going to yield you some amount of ICOSA. Then you take that times the market value of ICOSA, which gives you another price, right? So say selling it as an NFT, you sell for $850. Say you sell it through the ICOSA smart contract. Say that gets you $900, right? So why would people sell it as an NFT on OpenSea? Because you also have to pay the OpenSea fee, which is like 2% or something, versus getting a higher amount and not paying that fee, selling it through ICOSA. Now, this is where the wild card comes in, where why would people use ICOSA if Hedron gets up to not being able to buy a T-share, what I was saying a minute ago, not being able to buy a T-share at a discount? If you can't buy Hedron, if you can't buy Hex at a discount, if that's what you believe to be true, if you think that there's going to be enough demand to soak up the HSIs as they come due in the liquidation market on Hedron, then Hedron is underpriced, right? And we're going to tie this back into the Team Maxi stuff in a second. I could go through, take my 555 HSI, take an advance of Hedron against that. And remember, selling as an NFT is $850, selling as ICOSA is $900 on a $1,000 stake, and maybe the advance is $950. If this is the scenario, why would anybody use ICOSA? Why would anybody use the OpenSea? OpenSea is more complicated, right? You have to deal with the marketplace over there and assume that people who buy fucking pictures of dogs and shit like that are going to understand what a smart contract is in DeFi, right? Most people are not over there. So then you have to deal with the fee, all of those things. So this is one way to dispose of it, but seems to be more complex. And there was some action happening there, not a tremendous amount. Number 2 would be through ICOSA. But why would you trade the permanency of selling your HSI, right? Because that's what people are doing to get cash out. So if you sell it through this, you get $850 and you're done with it. You don't have access to your HSI anymore and you got $850 versus taking an advance against your HSI in the form of Hedron, which comes out to say be $950. You're going to get more money and you still retain control over your HSI for the next 90 days. During the next 90 days, what if Hex and thus Hedron price drops by 40% over the next 90 days? That means you borrowed $950 against your HSI stake, and now it's dropped by 50% 90 days later, meaning you could go pay your HSI off completely for $450. So you borrowed $950, but now you get to pay it back for a lot less. Now, obviously, you can work in reverse, but that's just one way to think about that. Lex P. I get Sam all alone sharing his awesome take without endless interruptions from GRC. It must be a holiday. It is a holiday. Friday, right? There's a lot of people who have the time off today. Footsteps. I appreciate you too. I appreciate everybody who comes in here. Bane, look how much Hedron God whale minted yesterday. There are more whales that can do the same thing, right? But HSIs from and buy. I'm assuming saying buy HSIs from auction. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot, right? So we actually have a video to touch on in a second. But when we were talking about this, right now, Hedron is selling it at about a 10x less than what it should be selling at, in my opinion, right? That means that when I say that selling at a discount of a 10x, that means that you can buy T-shares at a discount. So if you believe that you shouldn't be able to buy T-shares at a discount in an efficient market, then some portion of that 10x is going to go away. Could be a full 10x, maybe Hedron goes up another 10x. It could just be half of that, maybe 5x more. And I believe this to be true. So I actually am putting money into this every single day in terms of buying Hedron. But getting back into the perpetuals here, these perpetuals are earning this discounted Hedron. That means all the millions of hacks, and I think there's probably like north of 10 million now, to minting Deci, Base, and all these other ones, all of that Hedron is going into the team, right? So Chris had asked about, is there like, well, you don't need to stake it, right? But you could potentially be earning a free Hedron position across all of these, right? Across all of these, which gives you an advantage because you're getting something that is a discount at some point is going to be at fair value or much, much closer to fair value. So I found that very interesting, could be very, very valuable to people in the future. There are a ton of options. So Albra, there's a ton of options. Now, one of the cool things about this is that there are so many options. When there's more options, people get lost. They get lost in the sauce, right? They don't know what to do. And that's where understanding these things and then how people's behavior, their psychology, how people think about things is going to be valuable, right? Because you got to understand how people are going to respond to some of these things. I'm not sure how. I personally believe, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that there's any freaking way that they're going to get anywhere close to 150 million hex for these 4 pools. Like, it just doesn't seem possible. But let's get back into this video here. Don't get lost in the sauce. I agree. Get out worm is going parabolic. Don't know what that is yet. But you can tag me on Twitter with their white paper and I might be interested in reading it. Personally, I see the Maxi, Perp, etc. ecosystem as a liquidity pay for LP. It provides multiple ways for people to cash out or rebalance with the ecosystem, make money with LP. Making money with LP is freaking awesome. I have since a couple hours ago, I've already made about $200 in LP. This is the fees from other people, right? So you can set this up in a plethora of different ways. Wednesday night, 6 p.m. EST, we're going to be talking about that. Let's get back into this video by Goal Key.
So team stakers are incentivized.
Let's go back just a smidge.
So the team treasury share half of the hex earned from the bigger pays better bonus and all of the Hedron from those stakes. So team stakers are incentivized to grow the perpetuals. We spoke on the Maxi 369 rebate, which is 30% of the Maxi used to mint team is rewarded back to team stakers in years 3, 6, and 9. And then there is the no expectations piece. So there is the possibility to earn from more opportunities like direct airdrops to the team smart contract or future products that reward team stakers and send tokens to the team treasury. So how to prepare for launch. If you want to mint team, you're going to want to get Maxi. And if you want to mint into the perpetuals, you're going to want to get Hex. I invite you guys to join us. Follow us on Twitter, Maximus_DAO. And
so what do you guys think? Are you guys going to be getting Maxi? We're going to take a look at some ETH contracts right here, which you should be able to, I can share them in the comments if you guys care to see them. But we're going to take a look here. How are these actually doing, right? This is Etherscan. And this is, if you come here, this is the Maximus team, right? So this, in my opinion, right, we've got these 4 things going on. What do you guys think? I think the most interesting one for me is team. I think that there's going to be similar to good morning, Luna. AJ, yes, LP is awesome with a certain percentage of your bag, I believe. Once I head back to work, yeah, let me know if you have questions. Don't you worry, you got 21 days to FOMO, Sam. Perfect. I might get team, right? Like the team is the only one that's interesting to me personally. The other ones are not super interesting to me when I put it into a broader context. Because we've got base, trio, lucky, and desi, right? And then team. Where we understand that base, trio, lucky, and desi are very similar to maxi in a lot of ways, right? But just shorter time frames. They're not going to get the bigger pays better or the longer pays better with all of them. I mean, like desi gets the longer pays better, Maxi's out that one. But the Maximus one had the biggest potential, 150 million hex in that contract, right? Now, Monica's thinking the team and trio. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking the I'm potentially right. I have some maxi. I may mint team because I do think that there's going to be such a tiny itty bitty little supply of this, right? That could be beneficial. And then they're going to be basically siphoning off some of the rewards for the base, trio, lucky, and desi. And while some of those rewards in terms of bigger pays better, etc., are not necessarily are going to be going to the team contract, right? And there's not going to be a shitload of people in there. But the thing that I find most interesting is earning Hedron at a substantial discount, right? Because that is where I'm at, right? I see a 10x potential in Hedron. I do not see a 10x potential in these things in the same time frame. So for me, I would rather have a 10x in Hedron, right? I will probably potentially take a small portion and mint some team, but I'm not exactly sure. So let's take a look at what we're checking out here. This is the Maximus team contract, and we get to see live here. There is nearly 4 million team minted, right? 4 million of these. That 4 million maxi taken off the market. Oh, that would be an interesting look. Let's see what maxi price. Let's see how this is affecting the Maximus price today. Maxi has been up currently at 9 cents, 8.9 cents. Let's see what Hex is, just to give this perspective. Hex is at 4 cents probably still, 4.1. Okay, so currently Maxi is trading at over a double, which I think it's been doing this for a couple of days. I'd been building a slight position in Maxi because I figured this was going to happen when they launched. Yeah, Maxi's down, I think, a little bit from yesterday. I'm quitting my job tomorrow. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. I think team is the best option. Bane, I completely agree with you. 100%. Damn, 2 years after surgery. Okay. So let's get back into this. 4 million of these fuckers have already been minted. Let's check out the base contract, right? So this is the 1 year perpetual, right? Let's talk about the premium on this. How do you see the premium on this? Right. I do think that, remember when Maxi launched, Big Whale sold out of Maxi today. Interesting. And did they put this, Crypto Dave, did they put it into the team contract? Let me know if you know. Okay. The base contract is that 1 year perpetual, right? 1 year restaking your Hex. So this, in theory, should sell at a premium relative to Hex. I think this out of all of them is going to sell the closest out of 1 for 1, right? You mint it 1 for 1. It should probably sell at a little bit of a premium to Hex, just a smidge of a premium to Hex. Nothing crazy, but it should sell. It's going to be lower than Maxi, right? If you put these into like a perspective here, how I believe this is going to play out, and when you want to get the biggest returns, right? Hex, we'll call that the base layer. And let me actually see if I can draw this out here. Browse board. Make a new whiteboard. let's get in here, create board, and we're going to share this with you guys. I think this is going to be helpful, hopefully, to people who care about the returns on these. Okay, so we'll start with the base here. This is hex, right? And this is going to be the base returns across here. In terms of this is, we'll call this the market price, right? Market price. Now, when we look at the other tokens on top of this, what do you think those are going to sell for? The base contract, I think, is going to be very close to the market price, if not almost exactly the same, maybe just a little bit above, a little bit of premium. This is my thoughts on this. I'm not saying you should put your fucking money anywhere of what I'm talking about. This is my personal opinion because there's just less of a reward there. Look at the staker app. What is the average APY in the staker app? Somebody else probably has it on their phone. I don't, but you can pull it up, probably 11 or 12% or something along those lines. That's basically what this is going to be selling at. I don't think this is going to earn a great premium. If you look at Maxi, Maxi's earning like 34% or something like that. So Maxi should be selling at a premium relative to these other things. So let's put Maxi as like the bright blue color, right? Maxi is selling at twice the price, right? If we draw this out, they're selling at like twice the price of Hex. If Hex is market price right there, they're selling at twice that price. Now we have the other ones in here in the middle. What do we got? Let's pick a different color here. Desi. What is the other one? Trio and Lucky. Let me make one more here. That is exactly how I see the premium on all these playing out. There's not going to be a ton of a premium. So if you want X's, right? Like if you want gains, and not saying that you should do any of these things, but this is how I'm viewing this. So I want gains. I wouldn't put money into base personally. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I wouldn't, because this doesn't seem like a big enough premium for me. I would just put my money in Hedron, right? Then the next one up from there, which is the Trio, right? Trio should sell at a slightly bigger premium than we have Lucky. That should sell at a slightly bigger premium to, and these, like, this is just, I'm not saying this is going to be a double the premium or whatever. It should sell at a slight premium, right? Then we have the Desi. Whoops. Desi is the one right there. Desi should sell at a premium relative to all these, but less than Maxi. So when you think about these things, Maxi is currently selling at over a 2x, right? 2.2 whatever times the Hex price, because Hex is at 4 cents. So I don't think, thank you, Chris. So if the staker app says 11% for the average APY, the global APY, right? That's probably what the base contract is going to be earning thereabout for the next year, and every year afterwards it's going to come down slightly as more people enter into the ecosystem. The wild card here, which we don't understand fully, and we don't know what's actually going to happen with this one, is what is going to happen with the let's choose yellow. What is going to happen with a team token? The team one, I think, I don't know, has the best chance of selling close to Maxi. Wow, that's pretty big. Check that out. It's somewhere in this vicinity over time as people understand it and put more thought into this. So I'll put one here and I'll put one here, right? I think it's going to be in that range, somewhere around there, because I haven't run the math on this, but you're earning half of the bigger pays better from the other 4 pools. And I think, please correct me, Chris, or somebody else in the chat who has the information in front of them, half of the longer pays better. So you're earning half of the bigger pays better, half of the longer pays better in Hex terms, plus Hedron. And Hedron is at a discount right now. And you're getting all of the Hedron across all of these pools. That's a lot. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. The staking for an average of 7 or 6.7 years does not give the 38%. Thank you. I have I have one hex stake. My one hex stake, I haven't even checked it in like 6 or 7 months. I have no idea what it's earning in all honesty. But I think it, like when I put it on, it was like around 30%. So I would think it's probably gone up a little bit, but I agree. You don't earn, 38%. I'm not sure why that's listed on the site, because I wasn't earning 38% when I put my stake on. Somebody else can let me know in the chat here, but I wasn't earning 38%. I guess the idea is that over time you earn 38% on it or whatever. What do you guys think? Do you guys believe this is how this is going to play out too? Do you think that the base is going to be here, right? This is base. This one here is trio. This one here is lucky. This one here is Desi. And then the big arrows at the top are team. What do you guys think? Do you think that's how it's going to play out? I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Let's take a look back here at the base contract. How many base have actually been minted so far? So again, this is Etherscan here. We got the address here. We're going to click on here, and we have, so this is taking off, this is taking hex off the marketplace. Thank you guys. This is awesome. We're at 110 sitting strong. Make sure you press that thumbs up button. I thank you for anybody who's in here who's dealing with this poor quality internet. I don't have internet currently. My internet is down. I already called the service provider, and I'm tethering this off of my phone. So let's touch on these. T squared. Love the name. Team only gets half of the bigger is better interest, none of the longer is better. Thank you for the clarification. So you get 4 of these, right? Base contract, trio contract, lucky contract, and Desi contract. Think about this for a second, because you got to think about the proportions. I'm glad I'm doing this live because this is talking me into getting some team, even if it's just a tiny little bit of it. Think about this for just, let me take this down. Base contract, nearly 3 million hex has been taken off the market. 3 million hex. The according to T squared, the bigger pays better, right? Is getting a portion of that. So it's, I don't know how much that's going to be. Somebody who has that information easily accessible can let us know in the comments, but they get some of that one. I'm not going to necessarily pull them up all of them separately unless you guys want to see, but the trio contract, right? The trio contract has 2.8 million trio that have already been minted. Lucky, which I think is the 7-year, has 2.8 million, right? So trio, lucky are the same, basically. The interesting one here is Desi. Desi has 6.4 million, right? 6.4 million has been minted. So we've got an interesting play here. All of the rewards for basically about 3 million. Let's add it up real quick. We got 3 million for base, 2.8 million for trio, 2.8 million for lucky, and 6.4 million for Desi. That's 10, 11, 12, 15. So that's 15 million hex. Think about this for a second. 15 million hex is being locked away. Where does all of that go? Where does all of the 50% of the bigger pays better, 50% across that whole shebang goes into one contract? And that one is, let's pull it up one more time here if we have it. That is 4 million maxi, right? Let me show you guys what this is, and then we'll put this into perspective so that everybody can hopefully understand what is going on here. This is the maxi contract on Etherscan. You can see right there, 4 million, right? 4 million team tokens are going to be getting the rewards, 50% of the rewards for, what did we say? 15 million hex that is staked. Think about this. This is just the beginning. 15 million hex that has been staked into the future, whatever that comes out to be in T-shares. half of the bigger pays better is going to these 4 million people. Sorry, 4 million tokens. Now, when you layer on top of this, Hedron, all the Hedron for the entire 15 million as of today, and I believe this is a 21-day release, half of that, I'm sorry, all of the Hedron is going to team. All of it. Only if you stake, though. Only if you stake, I believe. And you have to stake for 1 year. So you need a stake for 1 year. The returns could be crazy. Cray is what they like to say in the biz, right? A little cray. Because what do you think? Even if Hex stays the same price, Hex stays 4 cents, right? What does that do to the Hedron price? Let's tie this into Hedron real quick. Hedron price, team is crazy. I am, as I'm doing this video, I appreciate you guys because doing this live and talking through this here, just mentally for myself, basically, but hopefully this is valuable to some people. I will be probably minting some team at some point today or whatever the case is. Price appreciation gets crazy. Potentially, yes, exactly. I agree. So think about this for 1 year out, right? Because that's when the rewards are going to come. It's going to be quiet, right? And you can probably acquire team at a discount, at least after the launch for the first several days. I'm assuming there's going to be people who don't understand it. Now, Chris, I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, sir. AJ, will the price of Maxi go down in the next 21 days because of what's going on with team? Let's think about that, Maxi, in just a second, AJ. What's going to happen to Maxi? Because we also had the stuff with Hedron. So think about this with Hedron. You get all the benefits with Hedron in 1 year. Assuming that you have team and you stake that for 1 year. You get half of the bigger pays better on 4 pools with currently today, day one, 15 million hex in them. And that number is surely going to go up. That means the proportion, right? We have 15 million to 4 million roughly in the base in the team contract versus 15 million in the other 4 contracts. Half of the bigger pays better bonus is going to this, right? So what is that? That's almost a 4-to-1, right? That could be pretty astonishing. But the Hedron piece of it in the next year, even if Hex stays exactly the same price, Hex doesn't have to move for the price of Hedron to move. And why is that? Because of the T-share rate. Hedron is linked to the T-share rate. And if, as we talked about earlier, if you think that the T-share rate is something that people are going to want to acquire, the T-shares are going to be what people want to acquire, and you think that an efficient market, a relatively efficient market in this marketplace will exist, then you're saying that Hedron is undervalued and will go up in value. All of the Hedron, remember, we have 15 million hex day one. I think this is a 21-day release. 15 million hex going to these 4 million, the rewards from this 15 million going to this 4 million team that are launching. Now, AJ asks a interesting question. Is there advantage to get and stake today versus waiting 21 days? I highly, that's a great question, AJ. I don't have an answer for you. I don't think that there's going to be any advantage now that I'm thinking about this, because I think somebody else has brought this up. And the reason is because how these contracts are structured, from my understanding, is, say, Trio. There's, say, 10 million hex going to Trio. Where's the reward for team coming from? Because that's when we're talking about staking. The reward in terms of bigger pays better and Hedron isn't going to be there until the contract closes. And it doesn't close for base, Lucky, Trio, and Desi until 21 days later, right? They have to collect all this hex, then they have to run a function so that it actually stakes that shit into the future. Once it stakes that into the future, then the stake will be the stake team stake will start to be earning. How is this going to affect Maxi price? Interesting question. So what do we have going on here? We have a drop in supply, right? So Maxi's supply is going down. Currently, it's already dropped by 4 million. Let me see if I can pull it up again, see if it's crossed over. Yeah, just under 4 million, right? 3.9 million roughly at this point. So we have the supply dropping. If one believes that there is this ecosystem is growing, which if you look at like Etherscan, this is what I do, and I'm not saying you guys should do this, but this is like how I try to understand what's going on. Right, I try to understand the enthusiasm of you guys in here, but also on Twitter. And then what I'll do is I'll go, hey, you have a lot of these fuckers talking about Hex, and like they're excited about Hex and all that kind of stuff. But is there new money coming into the system? So what I will do is I will go to Etherscan and I'll look up Hex, and I will see, is the number of holders, that's addresses, right? So I could have 10 addresses that hold Hex. Is the number of holders of Hex increasing? And then how quickly is that increasing? So I've been tracking this data for, the last 8 or 10 days or something like that. And it is increasing, but it's increasing substantially faster than that. What are you confused about, AJ? Or maybe that answered the question. Hedron. This is pretty crazy. I ran the numbers this morning. Let's see if I can pull this up for you guys quick. The rate, because it's pretty crazy. The rate at which Hedron is growing new users in terms of holders versus Hex is pretty crazy. Surge, Paxton, I slaughter your name. Sorry about that. When this huge inflation in Hedron will stop, no one is worried about most important thing. What is the most important thing? Let's see what he says. I think all Hex stakers move to Hedron and do HSI stakes. Can't stop Hedron inflation. We just got diluted yesterday and token lost 8% of value. So Serge, one thing that we got to consider with this, right? And then I'll pull up the ratio at which these two are growing. Hedron, people are like, oh my God, you earn 1 Hex per B share per day for eternity if you have, a 15-year stake. Yes, this is accurate. But let me show you this video that you may have already seen. I don't know. I think we've had both of these guys on RH Max and Gifford. So they've both been on the show before. You guys have seen both of these guys before. We're going to play just a very short clip from them, because this is going to help give perspective of what is actually taking place with the inflation. Hyperinflation in Hedron is not, I repeat, is not forever. Hyperinflation for Hedron is not forever. It's going to decrease. And they do a good job, because Gifford has the actual data here. He has it. So let's play this video and then talk about it.
If you're looking
Can you
at
guys hear this?
if you're looking at the fact that there's my last check was it was somewhere around $12 million, $12.5 million worth of Hex.
So that's $12 million of Hex that is coming out in HSIs in around the middle of November. Pretty crazy, right? So let's finish what he has to say.
That is all going to be hitting the markets through those first 10 days or so. That is a lot of Hedron to be burned. I think the minimum, the last I calculated this, and somebody can correct me if you're in the chat and you're actively looking at these numbers, but the minimum bid just to get these all liquidated on the first day is going to be around 220 billion Hedrons.
So think about that. What did Gifford just say? There's about 12 million Hex plus that is going on the market mid-November. In order to take that off the market, the minimum bid, what is that? That's just the advanceable Hedron. So remember, ICOSA, you sell your HSI to ICOSA. ICOSA contract immediately takes an advance against your ICOSA, right? Then that goes up for liquidation 90 days later. The minimum bid to purchase that 90 days later is the amount of advanceable hedron. Gifford just put out that number is 225 billion roughly. Let's go back a smidge here and listen to it again.
Just to get these all liquidated on the first day is going to be around 220 billion hedron.
220 billion hedron. So Serge, the amount of hedron that is going to be burnt to get rid of these on just to get it started, and that's assuming that they sell at a discount. Remember, this is the advanceable 25 days ago, 30 days ago. The amount of advanceable hedron was equivalent to, like, on $1,000 hex stake was equivalent to, I don't know, $5. So you have $1,000 hex stake and you advance $5 with a hedron. Fucking whoop-de freaking do, right? But hedron has gone up in value significantly since then. And if we believe that there's going to be people who are interested in purchasing T-shares, there's no way those are going to sell at the first bid, right? My phone, right? This is a phone. This phone right here is, let's say, $1,200. If I go and I put this up for auction and I sell, say it's $1,000. This is the hex stake. This is a representation of the hex stake. By the way, math and calculus makes me dizzy. I probably talk a little bit quickly in some of these things. I really enjoy this stuff. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's just a lot of fun for me. So I appreciate you guys. Also, Mudhog over 4,500 HSIs. Oh, Mudhog or anybody else. This is crazy. Okay, so he gets it. Who doesn't want cheap T-shares? Okay, exactly. So say this is the T-share. Say this is a representation of a T-share. This $1,000, right? Comes with this awesome dirty case. This is $1,000. Now, you can buy this exact same phone for Hex, right? Hex over here. You can take Hex and you can buy this exact same phone. This is the T-share, remember, and it's $1,000. Or if you come into the liquidation market and you place a bid using Hedron, because that's how you have to pay for this shit, it's going to cost you $12. Do you think, you don't have to be super intelligent, have a lot of functioning gray matter, but do you think that this $1,000 phone is going to sell for $12 if there's demand for T-shares, and T-shares, this exact same T-share would sell for $1,000 if it was just priced in terms of Hex? No, of course not. It's going to sell way more than $12. And that is what they RH Max and Gifford actually get into right here.
Hedrons just to get it started. And then if they bid up, say they bid up to fair value, then that's going to be somewhere in the range of 6 trillion.
Did you guys hear that? 6 trillion. 6 trillion. That's what is that? 15 zeros? A 1 followed by 15 zeros? Is that accurate? Something like that. Or 12 zeros? No, I think 12 is a billion. But it's a boatload of fucking Hedron that's going to be built if they're anywhere near that number, right? 220 billion on the low end to 6 trillion on the upper end. And that would assume, right, where Mudhog just said 4,500 HSIs. What ICOSA needs to do, what the team needs to do, in my opinion, they need a contract. They need a display that shows how many people are actually using an HSI and what the current rate of this distribution is for selling an HSI. There should be an easy way for this to be figured out for people. It's far too complex right now. This needs to be much simpler, as Monica points this out. It's not just you, Monica. There's far too many steps involved, and there's far too many issues here for people to try to get through this place. So when we put this into what's actually going on here, 6 trillion to be burnt is a joke. On September 4th, supply went from 99 trillion to 106 trillion in one day. Yeah, so somebody who went through and minted their Hedron. Correct. And you know how people are like, oh yeah, but there's whales who are earning 10x Hedron per day, right? On that, right? Like I'm earning 9x on my single hex stake. So if you understand that people who are getting these larger bonuses. A lot of these people don't have super long stakes because this is from a while back. A lot of them don't have this, and their stakes are shorter in length. And not everybody has actually claimed Hedron, and their stakes came up. If you don't remember, 8-9 months ago, there was a lot of people talking shit about Hedron, as in there's no point in holding it. I was one of the people because Icosa wasn't out. So like, what's the point? What's the point in having this? Also, real quick here, I wanted to touch on this. Does anybody, please let me know in the comments, does anybody know? So the 106 trillion is not an accurate number, in my opinion. That comes from Etherscan, but there's already been a boatload of it burnt. Does anybody have an accurate way of finding that information? How much has actually been burnt of Hedron? Because then it would be 106 minus whatever has been burnt. Because what I believe, does this community have a Discord or brain to brain all this out? Would like to. Suitable. Yes. There is a Discord. Somebody else who's in the Discord. I'm probably in the Discord, but I don't spend a lot of time on Telegram or in Discord. I actually don't have Discord. So, but there's definitely a Discord. Check out the Telegram. Hit up on Twitter. Somebody will be able to share that with you. I do, but not really. Like, if somebody's fucking has that shit and I'm around and they offer it to me, I'll probably take a hit. But they don't really. Love GRC, but you are better and give more unusable information. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. GRC is awesome, and it's cool to see him get better perpetually as time goes on. Surge, if that wouldn't happen, we would be at now, and as of today, probably heading to new all-time highs. Surge, it's okay. It's okay. There's still a 10x in the value before you cannot buy T-shares at a discount. And remember, you have, I think I only have like 30 or 40,000 maxi, but whatever that 30 or 40,000 maxi is, converting that to team. So this is the trade-off. What I'm going through here. And then I also have something to follow up on yesterday, and then I should probably wrap things up. Hedron Pro shows you the burnt. Oh, okay. Gina, you're fucking awesome. Thank you. I will have to look at the Hedron Pro website and try to figure that out, what that's actually like. Completely lost my train of thought. Okay, maxi. So I've got some small amount of, I have some amount of maxi. My mind, right? Where do I want to go? Because I'm sure other people are playing this same game as I am. Do I want to hold on to my maxi, or do I believe there's higher returns by converting my maxi to team? So we got to answer both of those sides. How does maxi respond to all this? AJ asked about this a few minutes ago, and I forgot to talk about it. How does maxi respond to the understanding of what's going on right now? Well, I think this is probably very positive for the maxi price because you're reducing supply by a substantial amount. Adding in base, lucky, desi, and trio increases the community size. Right? There's more community involved because then you have more people who have these other things that don't actually own Hex. So the community ends up growing. And as we know, what is the only thing that drives adoption? Demand. That's it. That's it. Right? So I think that this is a positive effect on the maxi price. Now, given that, and I'm not saying this is what you guys, I'm thinking this out loud. You don't necessarily need to, and I wouldn't say it's a good idea to follow through on the way I'm thinking. I'm just sharing my point of view on this. And you can be like, well, that dude's a fucking dumbass, and change it however you see fit to come up with the best answer for yourself. Now, on the other hand, right, should I take my maxi and I should put it in for team? Well, we talked about that, right? It's getting the bigger pays better bonus on 15 million hacks staked at various lengths. How much is that going to be? As we get closer to day 21, we'll see. If the ratio, because this is one way you can think about this, if the ratio, so people should probably not watch this stream because then it's going to hurt my returns, right? But if the ratio between how much, damn, I just looked at the team contract, there's 5 million fucking team. So this is pushing down the returns. I should stop talking about this, and you guys should just not mint team at all. But if the ratio from these 4 pools into the team, if the ratio becomes more lopsided, then the returns for team are going to be greater. So the bigger the ratio between those two, base, lucky, trio, and desi, if the ratio between these two becomes greater, meaning right now there's the Maximus team has 5 million team that have been minted. And on these other contracts, let's just take a quick, I'll just gander through these and yell them out. Somebody can add them up in the chat for me, please. This is Maximus team. We've got 3.1 million for team for the base contract. I'm sorry. 3.1 million for that one. 2.9 for trio. 2.9 million for that. Lucky 2.8 for lucky. For desi, desi hasn't changed at all. We have 6.42, right? So still around 15 million, a little bit over 15 million. If that ratio increases, if it goes from 15 to 5, so it's a 3-to-1 right now, say if it goes to 5-to-1 or 6-to-1, you should encourage your friends who don't care about this kind of stuff to just put their money into that shit. No, just kidding. Tell them to do what's best for them. Period. Right? But if that ratio does increase, then it makes it so the team is a better opportunity. So how I am personally thinking about this, given I layer on top of this how I think about Hedron, and I still see a 10x potential for Hedron, even though I know, yes, there's 135 watching between my channel and GRC's channel. Take a second, share this out, press the like button. Let's show Bullish. It's just me here today. Let's show Bullish and GRC that we are the top dog here. We are the ones who are showing what's up here. Better stream, better watch time, better views, better number of likes. Make sure you press that likes there, right? So if I look at Maxi and team and that ratio grows over time, I will definitely be minting Maxi. I'm sorry, taking my Maxi to mint team because that's going to be a good trade-off with the bigger pays better from that ratio, the larger the ratio. If hopefully, is this making sense when I say the larger the ratio, the total amount of hex used to lock that shit up, the bigger that number is, the better it is for team. And that's in terms of the bigger pays better, but also all the Hedron there. So I think if this ratio continues to expand, I'm more likely to put this into team as time goes on because of that. But here's the other thing. When this takes place, this is a very long-term way of thinking about this, right? But if you want to be successful in life, I highly recommend trying to think longer term. What did the Maximus team do with some of the Maxi? From my understanding, and I could be wrong here, a portion of Maxi that is put into the team contract gets paid back out, portion goes to the team, and a portion of it is burnt. Now, what does this mean? Please correct me if I'm wrong in my understanding of this. If 20, because I believe it's 20%. So say this 5 million Maxi, right? 5 million Maxi, currently it's a 4.9 million times the price this morning. So let's say 4.9 million times 0.09. So that's $500,000 worth of Maxi has been submitted so far this morning. If 20% of this, so 88,000 of this Maxi gets burnt, what does that do to the pool in 15 years? Think about this. If the Maxi pool in 15 years and a portion of it's burnt, then the amount that would go to 88 the 88,000 of the equivalent tokens, or just under 5 million Maxi is no longer going to be getting Hex in 15 years, then that means everybody who still has Maxi gets a larger amount of Maxi, a very big amount of Maxi. So interesting. Any last thoughts here before we wrap things up? I'm just going to touch on some of these chats here real quick. Got you, buddy. I appreciate you, Chris. We should chat in, and we should do a. Let me know what you guys think. Would you like to do a like live stream where it's? I think this would be a lot of fun because I'd love to interact with people. Where we do a live stream, maybe it's here or maybe it's on my channel. I got to talk to Bullish and GOC. Where we do a Zoom where anybody can come into the Zoom and ask questions live. And then obviously like somebody's going to be moderating it. So just not everybody's talking over each other, but where somebody can come in live and actually ask questions on a Zoom. I think that would be pretty interesting. If you guys would like to see something like that, think of like a call-in show, right? Where somebody can call in, but it's a Zoom. So you get to actually show up on the screen. If you guys like to see that, I'd like to put something together like that, either for my channel or do it here. If anybody wants to help me with that on my channel, please let me know. Love to help on that. That would mean though that 1 year rolls over every year. That is accurate, Gina, right? It does. Top G, what's good? Solo, hey, thank you. I appreciate all the support and the love. You guys are fucking awesome. Thank you so much. Daniel, maybe on day 20 we should review numbers and then decide if yes, I would agree, Daniel. Maybe I will put another tracker together. That was one more thing I got to show you guys. There's so much cool stuff to talk about. Awesome stream. 1 billion of Hedron staked right now is worth 60 Icosa tokens or $72 per month. Wow, that is not a lot. I don't think, is that accurate? That doesn't seem like a lot. Because 1 billion Hedron is what, like $3,000 or $4,000? What's the return on that? Somebody let me know what the price of that. So let's see. If it's $72 per month times 12 months, that's $864 a year. Say if it is $4,000 for Hedron, that's 21% annually. I mean, that's not bad. It's not too bad of a return. We should parody the blackjack scene in The Big Short. Yes, I like that movie. As long as everyone has pants on. I don't know about that. I don't know if you guys know if I'm wearing pants. I'm not going to tell that anybody, but it is more comfortable without pants on though. Zoom in with Sam. Hey, that would be super cool. Okay, cool, AJ. I think I would like to put that together. Not sure how to do that, but if anybody has any ideas on that, let me know. Because I think a Zoom where we get to actually have conversations, and it's not just me fucking, pontificating for an hour straight, where we get to hear other people's point of view. I think would be valuable to do that every like month or something like that. Quick math. It's always better to buy the underlying asset when it's 10 cents on the dollar. Hedron, no matter the returns on any staking pools. Lex, do you mean purchasing Hedron? I've been purchasing Hedron. I have a bunch in the staking pool, and then I decided to build a bag that is not actually staked. There is a tally: 11 million team minted, 6 million is staked already. The rest liquid. Okay, so if I go to Etherscan, I'm curious because I don't see that. Right? If you go to Etherscan, there is not that much actually minted, unless Etherscan is incorrect. I will show you guys one more time here, and then one last thing before we jump out of here. This is Etherscan. This is the team contract here, and there's 5 million. So there's 5 million team tokens, not 10 million, not 11 million, right? So I'm not sure where the 11 million is coming from, but that is. It's not accurate according to Etherscan. Maybe Etherscan is wrong. I think it just comes from the blockchain, so I don't know. Prime, dope. I'm assuming this is for Icosa. Hey, Prime, where do you get this data? Does anybody know if there's a tracker out there for the utilization? How much HSIs are being sold to ICOSA on a daily basis. This gives us an indication of the future, right? This gives us an indication of what's going to happen in the marketplace. Serge was talking about how Hedron is uber inflationary. If Hedron and or ICOSA cause a massive uptick in liquidations, which they are doing right now, Hedron actually can become deflationary. You're minting shit every single day for every single B share. That is correct. But Hedron can actually be deflationary. If you don't understand that, it's because the pricing on the marketplace, right? We talked about it a little bit earlier on Wednesday night, 6 p.m. EST, my channel. I'll be probably talking about that a little bit more. Lex, buy Hedron instead until parity. Then yes, I agree. I am continually buying Hedron daily. Zoom with the this would be a lot of fun. I would like to put this together. I will try to figure out how to do it. Maybe not this Wednesday because I'm already doing a show with Russ, but the following Wednesday, or if I can figure out how to put it into the schedule at a different time. Moon Mod. I should just try to not read people's names. Sam, I enjoy the words that exit your mouth. You're awesome, bro. AJ, this is invaluable shit. Thank you, bro. Hey, appreciate you, dude. Thank you for everybody who's been in here too. 135. No look at the holdings of the wallet. Let's see what else we got in here. Hex. Why would one not stake team and just hold it? Good question. Let's think about that for a second. What would be the reason to do that? Well, there's some people with paper hands, right? That would be one reason. If somebody was like just had say $1,000 worth of maxi, like that's all they have, and they don't make a lot of say money to like live on, right? Because I quit working at a bank 3 years ago, before like the pandemic, right? And I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I'm making about $100 a month, but the $100 a month, like 6 months earlier, I was making like $22 a month or something like that. So I saw that it was growing, and I was like, literally no idea what the F I was doing. But I figured if I just continued like trying to do whatever it was that I was doing, it would grow over time. But I understand there's a lot of people that live like paycheck to paycheck. So that might be a reason to hold team. If there's a massive run up in the price of Hex, team will probably be volatile, but will probably accelerate as well. So if somebody wants to take some of that profit, if that happens, I think that could be a reason. Does anyone knows 4,800 and 07 HSI stakes in Hedron? How much it is worth of Hedron to be burned? Approximately 100 new HSIs stakes per day right now coming holy shit. Serge, if this is accurate information, guys, what Serge is saying here, and somebody else, I think Prime Pulse or something had mentioned this, if there's 4,800 HSIs and we're getting about a new 100 HSIs being sold through the ICOSA contract per day, this is going to be stoops, right? You have a boatload. And I don't have the exact data, Serge, but there's going to be a boatload of Hedron that has to be burnt. A massive, massive quantity of Hedron that is going to be burnt there. Be curious to see if it actually turns deflationary. Can become deflationary is a big question. Yes, I agree. I think we have something interesting happening here. If you look at like actuarials, what is an actuarial? Actuarial is like the statistician, the mathematics person, the CFA, the MBA person that works at a insurance company, right? And what they do is they'll be like, Serge, white man, works in this industry, lives in this zip code. He married or not married. Then they estimate like your life expectancy or your probability to get into an accident because the zip code you live in, whether you're married, whether you own or you rent, all these like different factors. That's why they ask you all those questions. And one of the things that they do too is they estimate how things change on a macro environment, say during interest rate changes. And when you think about deflationary versus inflationary for Hedron, in a time where we're in a bear market versus a bull market, this is going to have an impact on the inflationary or deflationary effect in Hedron. First time I'm kind of like thinking about it here, but that will definitely, like, during a bull market, right? All the prices are going up. Maybe we see an increase in people selling their HSIs. So, I mean, I don't know, right? I would think that maybe more people want to liquidate. I could be wrong, right? But I think that maybe more people would want to liquidate in a bull market their HSIs to get some cash to buy shit, pay off debt, or whatever it is that people want to do, which would mean that more Hedron is utilized, which means that there could be a higher probability of being deflationary during bull markets than during bear markets. During bear markets are like accumulation phases for people who last, right? So I don't know. Interesting. Let's share one more thing here. Tidal wave. Yes. Surge must be Sam's channel, guys. Yes, it is. There's some people watching on my channel as well. Maxi total supply on weather scan goes down as team is staked. Team is 60% staked, 500,000 minted. That's interesting because that's not what I saw. That's not what I see on Etherscan. So I don't know where that's actually coming from. But let's take a look at one last thing, and then we're going to take a look out of here. This is fascinating. This shows us the growth. This shows us the growth in the number of holders in Hex versus the number of holders in Hedron. So I started tracking this about 8 days ago or something like that because I wanted to see what is going to happen with the price. If we see an increase in the growth of new holders in Hedron over Hex, right? Because they're both growing, but are they growing? Is one growing at a faster rate than the other one? That can give me a good indication if my bet effectively, but I have Hedron. I have a Hedron staked, right? For in the ICOSA contract, a bunch of it staked in the ICOSA contract, right? Is that going to be a good bet, right? Is Hedron going to go up in value during that time? So what I did is I started tracking this. I wanted to see if this was actually true or not. And I started tracking this. Let me share this with you guys. Several days ago. So you could see on the 8th, or the 28th is when I started tracking it. And during that time, Hedron's added 1,000 new people, right? These are not necessarily people, right? Like I could have multiple addresses with Hedron. There's a number of holders where Hex has added less than 1,000. But what ends up happening is just during, this is what, the 28th through the 4th, right? So actually this is supposed to be the 5th. I put in the wrong date this morning. So in the past 7-8 days, right, we have Hedron that has been growing the number of holders 17 times faster. Let me repeat this. The number of holders that Hedron is adding relative to Hex in the last 7 days, since I've been tracking this, is nearly 18 times faster than holders are for Hex. That is a bullish sign. More people are acquiring, and you can see what is the Hedron chart done up and to the right. So I'm going to continue tracking some of this stuff. There's a lot of opportunity in a bull market, guys. Just massive, massive opportunity. This viewable link, I don't have that, but I would like to figure out like a place where I can kind of like put my spreadsheets. You know, I think I could probably figure out. I don't know how to create a Discord, but it can't be that hard to figure out. But figure out how to create a Discord or something where, like, when I do these things, I can share them with the Discord, and people could be like, "Hey, yeah, that's really stupid," or, "Hey, that's insightful." Like, maybe that'd be helpful, in some way or whatever. But hopefully, this has been interesting. Hopefully, this has been helpful. Currently, we have the team token, which has about 5 million that have been minted. We have the base token at 3.1 million. We have the trio token that is at 2.9 million. The which one is this? Lucky. I think this is Lucky, which has 2.8 million. We have the Deci, which is Deci's gone up nearly 6.6 million Deci has been created. So if you guys like this, make sure you press the like button. Let me know how you thought I did over on Twitter. Links down below. Make sure you press the subscribe button. Jump over to my channel if you're watching on GRC's. Russ, Wednesday night, 6 p.m. EST. Russ, we're going to be covering Hedron in more detail, coming from the perspective of somebody who hasn't spent as much time thinking about this thing. So if I didn't touch on it in a certain way today, we can get into a lot more of the details Wednesday evening, along with base Deci, right? Because we'll be 4 days in, or 3 days into how it's going, and we get to see that actual ratio of what's happening there. I'm going to take us out of here with some, what should we listen to today? We're going to listen to some DeFi proof. I appreciate you guys. This has been a lot of fun. I should do these more often. This is a lot of fun. Thank you so much. Peace.
Farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sticking all this shit on Everest. And I'm balling ECF. Farming with my stables in the decks. I'm holding IRA and never flex. I'm sticking all this shit on Everest. You see, the problem was these epochs. Now I'm printing daily, man, who need that? I check my APR on VFAT. And the regulation printing big stacks. I simple swapped it for some BNB. Took my shares and I made OP.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy DeFi Proof. You whole